Exactly.
Let's bring in now Representative Kevin McCarthy, Republican from California, House Minority Leader, hoping to be the Speaker. We'll ask you about that in a moment. Mr. Representative, thanks for being here. But first, about the Twitter files. What's your biggest takeaway, having watched everything that's been revealed?
The greatest fear is it's what we feared, but it's even worse. When you look at government weaponizing businesses to go around the Constitution, to go after Americans, never giving that information. Think of what 80 FBI agents could have done, from human trafficking, from the kidnapping and other crimes they could have solved, instead of going after people that those individuals had no recourse, had no ability to go back, didn't even know who was targeting them. But the next question drives even further. What about Facebook? What about Google?
Yes.
What about the 51 Intel agents who signed a letter in regards to saying it was Russian collusion when it came to the Hunter Biden laptop right before an election? These are people that used to be the head of the CIA, the Clapper, the Brennans, the Hayden. Remember what the head of the CIA, Hayden, had said? I paraphrase. He literally called Republicans the greatest threat of terrorism around the world. This is what they believe. That means going after you, me, your viewers, 40% of America, and they're using our own government to do it and hiding the fact. We would have never known this had it not been for Elon Musk bringing it out. Now, what can we do with it? We were 17 days away from January 3rd. We have a plan set for Christopher Wray to come in and answer to the American public, Merrick Garland to come in and make these answers, from Jim Jordan to Jamie Comer. We've got to get our work going on the very first day. And that's why when you bring in the speakership, we've got to move beyond this. The only shining light in the last two elections, fighting government and everywhere else, was the Republicans in the House. We won both times when all the other Republican entities have lost. We need to be able to have the strength to stop this Biden agenda and get to the bottom of these and get the answers for the American public.
You know, I know you've made a pledge to subpoena those 51 intelligence agents you just mentioned that dismissed Hunter Biden's laptop as Russian disinformation. And I think I ask you this question with real hopefulness because I believe that the focus of the FBI is a political question, meaning priorities, dictating where the FBI should be placing, for example, the attention of 80 agents. Is there something you can do? Is there something through the political process that can actually hold, in this instance, for example, the FBI to account?
Very much so. Their funding comes through us. Their oversight comes through us. They lied in the process because, you know, I'm part of Gang of Eight. I've never heard that they had 80 agents going after American citizens. This is what we have to get to the bottom. If you look at American history, we started something called the church investigation because of a senator, when they had gotten out of control, these agencies, running amok. We have talked about this internally. We have our Oversight and Accountability Committee run by Jamie Comer. We have Judiciary that has the oversight of the FBI with Jim Jordan. But we've talked about a subset to go in. This is becoming so detrimental that they're using government agencies, but they're weaponizing American businesses at the same time to go after American citizens. We've got to turn it on its head and get to the bottom of this. The number of whistleblowers that have come forward that worked in the FBI, that have given us the information, we cannot delay and make sure that we can start on day one with the subpoenas and get the answers for the American public and make the changes needed to protect the American citizen.
Congressman Pete Hegseth has on his arm a tattoo that says, "We the people." And right now, I don't feel like our elections belong to we the people. I believe that the FBI was interfering in our elections in 2020. I think that's so serious. And as you move into January 3rd, where hopefully you will become the leader of the Congress, what can you do to restore people's confidence? Because if we don't have, if we believe that the FBI is working with social media and the Democrat Party to alter elections, to hide information so people don't have the right information going into an election, we had 4 years of investigations over Russia, so-called Russian interference. What is going to happen?
Well, a number of things are going to happen. We have an entire plan. Remember what they did where they weaponized the Intel committee. No longer will Adam Schiff or Eric Swalwell serve on those committees. Where they took a committee and made it political, working This committee is the one that has the oversight of all these agencies, and they drove it. You've got those in the intel community, those 51 that used it. You've got them weaponizing every other social media not to play the New York Post article when it came to Hunter Biden. And remember, this is in a short time frame right before an election. All of that has to come forth to know the truth so it never happens again, and then follow the truth to put in any safeguards to make sure our elections, that this can never happen again, that the American public gets all the information and they can make their own decision so we, the people, control what is happening.
It's incredibly important. Rachel's exactly right. Real quick, the D.C. Beltway press is abuzz about will Kevin McCarthy be the next speaker. We're told there are 5 or 6 members of the Republican caucus that are holdouts and that they're demanding something called the motion to vacate, which means they could basically try to vote the speaker out at any time. What's the status of the negotiations inside the caucus? How confident are you right now?
I'm very confident. Look, I've been leader for 4 years. In the battle that we just had for the last 2 election cycles, we have only won seats. We won the majority. We're going to be able to stop Biden's agenda. We have the majority, and we fired Nancy Pelosi. Now we've got to get our work going. The challenge here is what they want is a motion to vacate means empowering everybody. Eric Swalwell can come to the floor every day to challenge whether the speaker can stay in or not. We need to be able to have the strength to do the job, to look into places that they're not going to want us to look into, to have the subpoenas to be able to move out, to be able to secure our border. Here we are just a few days away from Title 42 being lifted. If we don't get the speaker situation situated now, we're delayed in all these actions and plans we have going. We want to have our hearings down along the border so the entire country knows what's happening, but the Democrats can no longer hide from it. The cameras can show the president if he won't come down there. We'll have the power of the purse, whereas the appropriation process, with what the Senate is doing today with an omnibus, is wrong.
Yeah.
They're empowering Democrat policies.
Why is Mitch McConnell doing that?
Days.
Why is Mitch McConnell doing that?
Have you called him?
Yeah, not only have I called him, he's got 2 senators over there that will no longer be in office in 17 days writing this. They're going to make the baseline, meaning what we spend on the very beginning, $100 billion more than what's now. They're going to lock in Democrat wokeism. When you can wait 17 days and we could have more power, you know what we could do in appropriation bills? We can put legislation in that actually changes and secures our border, helps us become energy independent, let parents have a say in their kids' education. Watch what we were able to do when we first, after the election, to lift the vaccine mandate for our military, to make sure the parents at DOD schools have a say in their kids' curriculum. We have shown from the very beginning after this election some of the victories we can have. Why would we lock anything in with the Democrats? And think about this. The Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They didn't do their job. Why would the Republicans help them do their job now before we have a stronger hand to play and the gavel in 17 days?
It's insane that Mitch McConnell would rather work with Nancy Pelosi than House Republicans on an omnibus bill, locking things in while they still have control. I don't understand.
It explains a lot.
It does.
It explains
It
a
does.
lot about what happened during the Trump years.
Correct.
Frankly,
Correct.
with Mitch McConnell.
For sure.
Well, Congressman McCarthy, thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank
We'll be
you.
talking to you
Thank you,
very
sir.
soon.
We wish you
Thank you.
luck. All right.
Yeah.